there, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Lena. I'm an incoming medical student in the US who's currently working as a high school teacher. I applied to medical schools during the 2020 to 2021 application cycle, and in this video, I'll walk you through the coursework section of my medical school application. That includes all of the courses I've taken, all of the grades I've received, and my GPA. Also, if you're applying in the future to medical schools, I will show you what the coursework section of the medical school application looks like, what kind of GPAs the medical schools look at in this section. If you're not interested in this part, feel free to jump to the part you are interested in according to this thumbnail over here. If you're also interested in the prerequisites of US medical schools, please check out this video up here. Without further ado, let's begin. So when you're applying to the USMD programs, when you're filling out your application, you also have to submit your official transcript to the system, which then goes to all of the medical schools. Although you're doing that, there's still a section in the medical school application where you have to input all of the courses you've taken and the grades you received one by one. It sounds like a very painstaking and tedious process, and it truly is one. My guess of the rationale behind this is that once you input all of the coursework within this application, it's easier for medical school admissions committee to look at without opening each individual transcript and reorienting themselves to the different formats of the transcript within this universal format. It's easier to see. And the second reason I think behind this is it's easier for the AMCAS medical school application system to calculate your BCPM GPA. Speaking about the BCPM GPA, they are generally known as the science GPA, and this is an often overlooked but also highly valued component of your application, and sometimes for different medical schools they consider it even more important than your overall GPA, because the BCPM GPA could be an indicator for your potential success in medical schools. The BCPM stands for biology, chemistry, math, and physics. All of the intro classes and also the upper level classes you've taken in these four areas all count towards your BCPM or science GPA. If you are applying in the future for USMD programs, I highly encourage you to get a copy of your official transcript prior to filling out the application, because for this section you have to input the course title, the course number, also the grades you received, and you also have to put a label of the category to this course. The medical school application system will then verify all of this information according to the official transcript provided by your schools. If there's something wrong, they will return this application back to you for you to amend it, and this will prolong the time for the medical schools to get your medical school application. So be really careful, double check all of the coursework that you inputted in this section over and over again. Start early in this process because you will encounter a lot of questions when you're inputting these courses in the coursework section. So you could go ahead and ask your advisor or people who have been through this process any potential questions you may have. So start early, ask questions, and double check. So now I'm going to go over the coursework section of my medical school application, and that includes the courses, grades, and GPA I have received. First of all, for the few columns they have over here, the school name, which is where you took this course. The status is which year you took it. FR stands for freshman year, and the year, the actual year you took this class. I was a freshman back in 2015. And then the semester you've taken it. The course class means what category is this course. So this is where you put in and label the course as a certain category. The courses that are in the biology, chemistry, physics, or math categories count towards your science GPA. And course number, course name, course type, course hours. These are all of the things that you input into the AMCAS application coursework section. For the last part, last 3 columns is for AMCAS use, so we could disregard this part. When entering college, I had 4 courses I used from AP credits, including Calculus 1, Calculus 2, Government, as well as Psychology. Those are all credits that I use to exchange for college level courses. However, they don't count towards my GPA. So for each of the classes over here, for each semester, I used a different color to color code it. So freshman year, first semester is in purple, second semester is in red. And for the yellow highlights, those are all of the courses that count towards my science GPA. So as you could see, purple region, freshman year, first semester, I took all of these random classes, and only really general chemistry and introduction to statistical inference, which is a statistics class, counted towards my science GPA or my pre-med requirements. So I was taking art history, yoga classes, microeconomics, and also literature classes. So you could see that I wasn't really sure on going to medical school during my freshman year. I was really trying to explore the different courses, explore the different organizations, and kind of enjoying that freedom just out of high school away from my parents. Because of this mindset, academics was not my priority back then in freshman year. I did receive a B+ in general chemistry. For statistics, I did receive an A, luckily. Moving on to second semester of freshman year, I still was taking random classes. I took the Foundations of Behavior class. This was a class under the neuroscience major, and that really made me interested in neuroscience, so that at that time I was kind of thinking about declaring neuroscience as a major. So moving on to the blue part, which is the first semester of sophomore year. This was the year where I started all of these hardcore pre-medical school classes, because after freshman year, I did an internship at one of the underserved clinics, and after that internship, I really saw myself in a career in medicine. That's why I really started to think about medical school and take all of these classes for medical school preparation. And the blue part here is Modern Biology 1, the Introduction to Biology classes, and also with lab. Received an A for biology class, but a B+ for the lab component to it. Moving on to next part, I also took organic chemistry along with biology during my second year of college. For organic chemistry, it was really a struggle for me, especially the lab component to organic chemistry. However, the course was graded on a curve, so I fortunately did get an A- for organic chemistry. Second year of college, I also took Latin to fulfill my secondary language course requirements. And then special topics in MBB stands for Neuroscience and Behavioral Biology. At the end of second year, I did declare this as my major. For the SIRE Research Partner Program, this is a program where they match you with a lab at the school, and there are weekly seminars where you meet together and talk about research ethics and research techniques and stuff like that. For second semester of sophomore year, I continued to take biology as well as organic chemistry. Didn't make improvements in both classes, still similar grades. And then moving on, I took elementary Latin, and then there is the psychology class, neuroscience, evolution, religion, and human condition. Super interesting class. I saw how neuroscience intersects with all these different kind of disciplines. I continued with the research partners program and was conducting research in a lab. Then moving on to junior year. Junior year was a year where I took all of the upper level biology classes that include biochemistry, introduction to neurobiology, so that was required for my neuroscience major, and continue to do research. What I want to mention here is that for research, as long as your research mentor signs off, it's almost a guaranteed A. That also counts towards your science GPA, so it's a great way to boost your science GPA up if your university offers a course like that. I also took physics. Physics here during my junior year of college. So I chose the harder version of the intro physics course, which is the physics for scientists and engineers. There is also an easier version of this physics course. At that time, I really wanted to challenge myself because I thought I was really good in physics in high school, and that challenge did not go as well as I think it would. And then there is psychology, drugs and behavior. Super interesting class, how we talked about the neuroscience of addiction, the mechanisms in the brain for different drugs. Moving on to second semester in dark blue. So I continue to take upper biology courses. These all counted towards my science GPA as well as the pre-medical school requirements, religion and healing, and we talked about reproductive technologies. This was a very writing extensive course, so it counted towards my writing requirements for medical schools as well. I did take introduction to sociology as well as sociological aspect of health and illness. And then moving on to my senior year, first semester, I took behavioral neuroscience, perspectives in neuroscience and behavior, all upper level neuroscience courses where we read a lot of research in neuroscience. I did honors research based on my research project from the previous year and took more philosophy and religion classes during my senior year. And that's when I declared ethics as a minor. And then highlighted in red is the very last semester of college. 3 upper level biology classes, including computational neuroscience, clinical neurology. This is a class where we actually went to shadow neurologists in the clinics. And then there is honors research where I continue to do because I had to write an honors thesis and defend my honors thesis at that time. It was a 5-credit course. And then there is introduction to bioethics and ethics related to virtue. During my last year of college, it was mainly fulfilling the upper level neuroscience courses for my major and fulfilling the ethics minor. So some of the courses that I've listed here, such as behavioral neuroscience, computational neuroscience, clinical neurology study, they all might sound really difficult. However, they are way less difficult or way easier than the introduction courses. That includes intro biology, intro organic chemistry, intro chemistry, because those are the weed out classes. And once you survived all of those classes, you got to a certain level, these upper level neuroscience or biology classes will be easier for you. And yes, these are all of the coursework for my undergrad career. So moving on to my actual GPA section. So you could see that over here, the BCPM GPA stands for the science GPA, biology, chemistry, physics, and math. The AO stands for all other GPAs. So that's like religion, philosophy, and all that other non-science classes. The total is the overall GPA. So you could see over here, it lists all the GPA for each year and the hours of these classes. Freshman year, I had a 3.73 science GPA, and sophomore year it improved slightly, junior year even more, and all the way to senior year. I actually got a 4.0 for my science GPA, and that gave me a cumulative science GPA as 3.86. And all other GPA, so it looks like from freshman, sophomore, senior year, it was all around 3.9, and added together, the cumulative GPA was 3.89 for all other non-science courses. The total GPA would be 3.88 and 4.0 for graduate classes. That's where I took all of the classes to get my teacher credentials. A relatively strength of mine that I have a very balanced profile across my science courses, non-science courses, and overall courses. There is flexibility, even though if you are pre-med, to take classes that you're interested in that are not related to biology, physics, and all those pre-medical school requirements, and also freedom to declare any major that you want. Second purpose is to show that intro science classes are really the hardest, and it only gets easier from there. Oftentimes, the roughest part of the journey is at the beginning. So right now, if you're struggling, hang in there, because we've all been there once. And lastly, I just want to say that going to medical school doesn't mean you have to get perfect grades throughout your undergrad career. As long as you're demonstrating some sort of growth, whether it's from a 3.0 to 3.2 and then improving your GPA throughout the years, that is what medical schools want to see. That's what they care more about than the actual grades that you are receiving. That is it. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you would like to see more content as such. I would be going over the timeline for medical school applications as well as tips for applying to medical school. So please stay tuned. I will see you next time.